All right. Welcome back. Episode 2 of Off the Hosel, podcast built on sand. I'm here with Tyler, and it's been a while. We know that the first episode came out a month or even longer ago. We didn't mean it for it to be this long in between. We filmed what we thought was an excellent episode with the captains that had technical difficulties on the back end that we weren't expecting. So I think we got pretty deflated after that didn't go through because we felt like that went really well. So I think it's taken us a little while to get momentum back up, but we're here tonight. We're gonna rock out and get going. So anything before we get started here, Tyler?
No, I'll just say for future guests, if we're not in the same location, uh, probably make sure that you got something better than whatever the fuck Hanvelt has at his house.
I think at one point he moved to the garage because apparently that was better Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. So
Oh.
unfortunately that was not a success, but we will succeed moving forward. So we wanted to start the episode quickly. We're coming off of the World Cup, USA versus Bosnia tonight. I think we have to talk about it briefly, just because it is all over everything. Number one, I'm glad we won. I was pretty impressed with our play tonight. Thought we really showed more than I expected us to. I was pretty livid with that referee. I thought he was absolute trash the whole game. The first half in general just got away from him. And I felt like the red card was him catching up to the game and overreacting. I don't really have, I'm still upset about it because I just thought it was just egregious more than anything. I don't know. I can see a yellow, but I mean, a red there was, I just thought was uncalled for. But I don't know.
Yeah, I caught bits and pieces. I saw the offsides goal that was called back, and then the goal shortly after that. I pretty much missed most of the second half. I saw the clip of our second goal, and then catching up on Twitter, saw some chatter about a red card. So one of our big dogs is out for the next game if that holds, right?
Yeah, it was Balogun. I mean, he's our leading scorer and
Yeah.
played really well tonight. We absolutely are going to miss him against Belgium. It
Yeah.
was it was tough. I mean, we played really well. I was proud of us, especially against a European team that we've always struggled against in terms of just Europe in general. But
Mhm.
you know, I think a lot of positives. That's going to put a damper on things a little bit moving forward. But I think it'll be a fun game on Monday against Belgium, and it's in Seattle, which is where we had an awesome crowd against. I
The
forget who it
12s.
was. Australia, I think. Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
the
12th,
12s.
man. We're going to need the 12th without
Yeah.
Balogun that day. So,
Yeah.
have you seen the clips of all these World Cup fans like from all around the world in the US, like
Yeah.
having the time of their life in
Yeah.
America?
I think one thing you forget about the World Cup until it's back, and it's always fun to watch. And this year, though, especially just being on home soil and the U.S. actually having like a respectable squad. Usually, you're sitting there down at the end. It's usually like the same four teams in the semifinals, but no, it's been fun to follow along. I think like my 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 darlings of the World Cup were definitely the Scots, and
Yeah.
that first weekend where they're taking over Boston and
Oh my God.
playing
Yeah.
bagpipes at 6 in the morning, and
They were in Fenway Park singing during the
yeah,
game. And,
drinking the city out of beer. I saw a funny clip online where someone was like, "Forget the World Cup. We need a drink off between Wisconsin and Scotland to see what
yeah.
happens." Because it was like, for you Americans that don't understand, Scotland is basically the Wisconsin of the UK. Which I don't know if I don't is Scotland technically UK, because there's Great Britain, the United Kingdom, and then England, and they're all somewhat different. I think
Oh man, it's a little late for me to be thinking about the nuances of
it's it,
of
it's
of, of the UK right
I
now.
know I know there's a Ireland is I don't think a part of the UK.
Yeah, I think Northern Ireland
Northern Ireland is, or I
might
have
be.
those
Yeah.
I have those switched around.
Nah, yeah, it's like Northern Ireland or yeah, one of the two, Scotland,
Yeah.
England, like Wales is part of that. Some I don't know.
Wales is in there. Scotland is, I think, kind of just doing their own thing. I don't really know. But
Yeah. I don't know.
yeah, the politics there, I don't quite get, and I don't really care. But yeah, the World Cup has been a lot of fun. I think if you just kind of sit there and watch all the different styles of play, it's really cool. I think one other thing that I hate shootouts deciding a hockey game. I love PKs deciding a soccer game.
It's interesting that you feel that way. I kind of hate PKs deciding a soccer game. I don't watch enough hockey to know how I feel about shootouts, but
Yeah.
I just
So
I
I
feel I just feel like the PKs are just like I mean they're intense, I think, but I don't know. I just kind of feel at the end of it, I'm like, uh, you
I
know,
think so I asked the same question a guy I work with who's a big soccer guy, and I'm like, "How do you feel about PKs?" Because I think they're sweet, but then also I think the casual hockey fan probably thinks shootouts are sweet, and I hate them. And he's kinda like, "Well, if you're Germany, that's a horrible way to lose." And so, like, obviously, if you're the better team, you're controlling play, the other team's playing just to get to penalty kicks, then it's a bad way to lose. But for the casual soccer guy that watches the Olympics and the World Cup, I I think it's sweet.
yeah, I get that. I think I watch not a small amount of soccer, and watch all the World Cup I can, and I just always feel leaving a PK game. I just feel a little disappointed because it just felt like it was like I don't know. I'd rather
Yeah.
see it score one on a great goal or head something that was live and action based. But
Mhm.
it's probably the same way you feel about hockey, watching more hockey. But
Yeah.
so I don't know. Well, hopefully there's not a lot more of that. But I think wasn't the World Cup last time decided on PKs like Argentina versus France, like
Yeah.
the final. So I
Yep.
mean, I'm sure we'll see more. But
Mhm.
I love. Did you see the Travelers? Did you watch any of that?
I watched bits and pieces of Sunday. I turned it on Friday when Scheffler had a birdie putt for 59, and then was it kind of on in the background over the weekend. So like I caught obviously the Hovland and the crazy Norwegians, which was sweet.
That's literally when I turned it on. I hadn't seen any of it. All of a sudden, I see this. Like, I'm like, wait, they're
Yeah.
at a golf event, and I was like,
Yeah.
the World Cup just got better because they're at the Travelers going nuts. Like,
Yeah.
I love that they just have done everything: the barbecue, the rodeos,
Oh yeah.
and then I mean that environment at the Travelers being there must have been awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you could almost see Scotty and Hovland like holding back the last in the greens. Like they're probably thinking, what did we just walk into
Yeah.
in this?
Yeah. Well, and
Uh,
then it got a little Ryder Cuppy there when on Sunday when Scheffler made that putt to
yeah.
host the playoff and
USA,
got the US
USA. Yeah, yeah.
going.
No, it was awesome. I wish it was decided that night because the environment was so good.
Yeah.
It was a shame it had to go to the next day because I thought that was just so cool, and you don't get that without the World Cup being in the States, right? Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
can get fun environments, but with Hovland having his private Norway crowd there was just I thought it was really cool.
And
Um,
I think normally when you get that, like, that's kind of that level of fan involvement is, like, reserved for the Phoenix Open where it's just
right.
everything's shit
Or
faced.
just the Ryder Cup in general, like
Yeah,
Ryder Cup or Phoenix Open, like you don't get that kind of energy
yeah, where this
typically. I
was
mean, every now
still
and then, but
it was still a nice cordial golf
yeah, yeah,
golf audience. It wasn't like people telling Hovland to go shove it. I mean, they
yeah,
might have.
yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
So,
Well, we can wrap up the World Cup stuff there. I wanted to talk about that at the show. So I just thought that tie in between the World Cup and the golf was cool. So
yeah, no, it's been great. It's
yeah.
been great.
Speaking of interesting golf and Ryder Cup, quickly, but it's been a little bit now. Furyk named captain. I thought it initially was a safe pick, like a boring pick. I
Mhm.
mean, I kind of was still rooting for Keegan to get another chance because nobody gives us any chance in Ireland, right? Like
No.
we're going to be hard underdogs. I
Mhm.
listened to him talk on one interview, and it's like I'm into it now a little bit, but I don't know how you feel about Furyk as our captain again.
Yeah, I think they went back to the boys club a little bit, which like you said, it's boring. I think the long shot was in maybe he was seriously considered, but Tiger, I think, having a connection to the guy, some guy who owns that course or something.
Yeah.
But also Tiger having his situation, probably not the best time for him to be captaining a Ryder Cup team. I think it was Foreplay that Furyk was on, and I don't remember, like, the full details, but a lot of the what I got out of it was, like, the US needs to have a different approach of, like, leading up to the cup. So, one thing is they'll have less time off between the Tour Championship and the Ryder Cup, where I think it's gonna be, like, a 2-week break. So, keep those guys fresh, get them all over, and basically just get across the pond right away and kinda start the team bonding stuff. The other interesting point was how bad the US has been in alternate shot, and, even in President's Cup, like, we routed the international team in 4 ball, and then alt shot went, like, 3 and 9 or something. I can't remember. Furyk was rattling off the stats, and historically, the Europeans just kinda feed off each other in alt shot, so it sounded like they were actually gonna do a little more, like, structured practice leading up to the event versus fly in the PJ separately with your family and wives, and, they're that's all still gonna happen, but, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it seems like the US team was more just, like, there to be there, and the wives kinda all did their thing, and there's kids, and that's fine, bring your family, do all that stuff, but the team bonding aspect of it, which I think Europe and Luke Donald do very well, I think the US is gonna try to do a little bit more on that end.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how you get better at ult shot, honestly. Like, I guess, yeah, you can
Yeah, I don't
practice and do it. Like, but I don't know. Like, how do you like? I think that's just a chemistry thing. I think it's just a willingness. I think it's just chemistry and a mindset of how do you switch yourself off from that PGA season of just
Mhm.
grinding in your own lane, and somehow the Europeans have figured that out. But I don't know.
Or
So yeah, yeah. I think initially, I think boring is the word I would use, but I mean, I felt a little bit better about our chances after hearing him talk about it. Like, all right, well, at least he seems like he knows what he's talking about here. Versus,
Yeah,
I like Keegan, and I thought giving him another chance would have been fine. But if they're going to reset it again and go after it in a different way, then I guess Furyk's the one to do it because he's got the one with all the ideas. So we'll see how it goes. But
yeah, and, I mean, the Keegan thing was definitely a sympathetic pick because he
yeah,
could.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it was the wrong pick in the moment. It's like,
No, I
you
don't
give
even.
it to Stricker in Wisconsin, your heavy favorites, your
Yeah,
theoretically heavy favorites at Bethpage, and it's Keegan's turf. And after part of it was, I'm sure, after the, missing out the cup before that and not making the team. But
yeah,
so, well, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna have our old buddy Phil Mickelson as, like, one of the vice captains. What do you think? Probably not.
I, yeah,
Keep the cart girls away.
yeah, that's wild. I mean, I guess it's not wild. I mean, for everything we know about Phil, this is not all that shocking. It's, I think, weird timing.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know why it's all coming out and that, like, what
yeah,
triggered it for this all to start coming out this year. But I mean, there's more and more every day about, like, supposedly, like, this is what's going on with Phil. Like, I mean, Tiger, Phil, all these all these proper, golf
ye
stars with all their, scandalous issues is a little surprising, in the grand scheme of what golf is. But I
yeah,
guess it's also a testament to just, like, how big golf has gotten in, the culture of,
yeah,
well, in our country, but also the world a little bit. Like, it's
yeah.
cool, but it's also like, okay, I guess they're real people too, instead of these, like, just perfect statues of etiquette.
Right, yeah, these country club gentlemen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what because like, now they play their round. First, they get there, they do all their prep and workouts, and they go into that workout truck, and then after, they're getting treatment or they're getting tweaking their clubs or whatever else, and before, I feel like These guys just, in the 90s and early 2000s, these guys just went to the clubhouse and had a couple cocktails and
Yeah. Who knows what happened then? Yeah.
see where the night takes us, fellas.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that rock star culture, right?
Yeah,
Like, I
true.
think this game has moved on from that in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. It's much more tidy, professional. And the rock stars of the old ages, Tiger and Phil are now showing their age with some of this stuff that I don't know if maybe we'll see some of it moving forward with these younger guys, but I heard was it Kisner the other day on Foreplay? He's just like the tour is so different now. Like he used to go and they would, you know, go out during the week, have some beers, have fun. The
Yeah.
range was like whatever, but now he's like everybody's just locked in on their launch
Mhm.
monitors and their swing coaches and their and everybody and it's just like business
Yep.
the whole week. And he said it's just such a different tour. And I think that's part of probably what we're seeing with these older guys,
Yeah,
that
and
it was just a different culture back then, and it was a different culture in America too, in
yeah,
some ways. So I
yeah,
don't.
and, the everything can be recorded on a phone.
Yeah,
So, like, I think that's part of it too, where these guys now their agents are telling them, "Hey, please don't screw this up."
yeah. Where Phil and Tiger are just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's probably a lot that we'll never know, and
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
a lot of guys on tour back then who will luckily scathe or get by unscathed with some antics probably back then that we'll just never know, but I think now it's like it felt like my, launch angle was point 0.3 degrees too low, so I'm gonna go hit the range and see if I can get that figured out.
Well, you say that, but I mean, they were just talking about Oberg's putter the other day and how they figured out that his putter
Oh, yeah,
like literally his launch angle was off by like like a degree or something stupid, and they fixed it. And all of a sudden, he's putting,
yeah,
amazing because they fixed this launch angle on his putter. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So it's a different world.
yeah.
But yeah, I think the other thing I didn't write down our notes, but that I was thinking about the new PGA Tour changes that are coming up. I haven't looked into it enough, so we may have to talk about it maybe in another episode. But I didn't know if you'd seen anything with it, how they're changing the model. It's almost like a soccer style relegation promotion, a
Yep,
little bit more. I kind of like it actually, if as long as they don't screw up some of these venues and events that like the Travelers. Like I think I never get excited going into Travelers Week, but by the end of the week, I'm like, man, that ended up being an awesome tournament. And so I
yeah,
think some of the ones that consistently deliver on the smaller scale, it'd be a shame for that to kind of go away. But I think kind of I'm open to the idea of a little bit of a more relegation promotion style two
uh-huh.
tiered system. But I don't know if you've read anything about it. I haven't read deeply into it, but
No, no, I saw, like, a potential format change of, like, a rotating spot for the tour championship. They'd have, like,
oh
3
yeah,
locations,
yeah.
but I think so
And
'cause
they mentioned doing it at like Pine
Seminole.
Valley and
Yeah,
Cypress, and I was like, "Well, if they can make that happen, that would be incredible." Like,
yeah,
how can and they'd bring back a match play format somehow, and I think
yes,
in the tour championship somehow. Like, I think there's some cool ideas that I'd be open to getting into, but
yeah,
whether or not they can make those things happen, like going to a Pine Valley or a Cypress, if that happens, it's like this is amazing, right? Like,
yeah. Without knowing, so this may be dead, but I like that I don't like the limited fields and some of the elevated events and the no-cut fields because there's always that, like, a few times a season, there's that guy who comes out of nowhere and wins some random tournament and life-changing, and, you take the more of those limited field, no-cut events you have, the less I know there's the alternate events that go on where, they'll go play in the Bahamas in, like, 100 and some man field, but
with like 45-degree winds, like it was this
no
year, whatever stupid thing it was. Yeah.
nobody's watching that shit on the Golf Channel when you got Scheffler and Rory battling down the stretch. So,
Right.
like, it takes that part away. I think they needed to do that to stay competitive against Liv at the time, which now, I mean, that's dead.
Yeah.
But, I hope that goes away, and maybe it doesn't, or you extend the field. But like, I think
I
limiting,
I think they said they were gonna move the fields back to, like,
yeah,
120 or
yeah,
something, so I think they are extending it back up, rather than these limited field stuff, but
yeah, because there like you take the Monday queue out of it, and there's it's just fun when there's those stories in there where it's like, oh, this guy's weekend qualified and then he Monday qualified, or he was an alternate, now he's in, and it's like, holy shit, he's playing in the third to last group on Sunday. This is going to be interesting to watch.
yeah,
And that, depending how he does, he's walking home with a six-figure check, so at minimum, right?
yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, I hope they get rid of that dumb limited field crap.
Sounds like they're gonna try to,
Well,
so,
good, good.
yeah. Alright, well, I think we needed a couple of those topics outside of Hackers Cup to kinda get our flow back a little
Break
bit
the
and
ice.
and
Yeah,
yeah, just kinda get back in the groove here, so let's move into some Hackers Cup stuff, so we're gonna start off with something easy that actually at the end of our episode that with the captains that we weren't able to air because of the difficulties with the tech. Ben, were you? I don't know if you were on there or not, but he posed the question, and I'm gonna steal Ben's question because I don't think he's gonna bring it back up again. He asked what my favorite flags at Sand Valley were. Were you on there when he did that?
no.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, and then I'll go through mine. What and you can include or not include the commons. When he asked me, it was brand new. I really hadn't even looked at the commons new flag.
Hmm.
So if you want to include it, you can. If you don't, that's fine. And I'll try to pop these up as an image when we if you end up watching it on YouTube or whatever, but so that we can see them. But so rank your flags, and it doesn't have to be by your favorite course or anything. It's by flag.
Just by design.
Yeah, how you feel about it.
Okay. My 1 and 2 are close, but I'm gonna lean with I'll go Mammoth 1. I like the Mammoth. I think the design's great. I'm just gonna go to, 6 off the bat. Like, Sand Valley is boring. That's just boring to me. So, I'm gonna put that at 6. Next, I'm gonna pick Lido for 2.
Interesting.
Um, I it's different. I don't know why, I just like it. I have that water bottle too, so it's
The steel one that you get from playing the course?
the steel one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or well,
not
it's not steel, but it's like whatever it is. Yeah.
aluminum or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's aluminum, yeah.
Or really expensive water bottle, super
Yeah.
cheaply made.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go Lido 2. I like the commons at 3. I think the Robin, I like the touch of the Robin. I'll go Sedge 4 and Sandbox 5. So we'll play that back. Mammoth 1, Lido 2, Commons 3, Sedge 4, Sandbox 5, Sand Valley, do better.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Yeah, when I did it, I actually didn't include sandbox or common, so I'll have to think about that real quick. I agree. I think Mammoth is one. I think I might have told him 1A, 1B with Sedge. I love the fox. I think that's a great logo especially for that course. I just think it fits that course.
Yeah.
And same for Mammoth, like, it feels like a big course, right?
Mhm.
So and obviously, I mean, those are just cool logos in general. So those were kinda my 1A, 1B, and I could probably flip them based on my mood at the time. If I had to, like, pick, I'd probably go Mammoth 1 and Sedge 2. I agree, I think Sand Valley is 6 for me as well. I just think it's such a lazy design, like, it's so lazy, like, do
It
better. Like you said, do better,
yeah,
especially for a course as good as that, like
yeah,
they need a logo update, I think, is what they need. They need to
yeah,
just scrap that one and put out something new, be good
need
press,
something.
there's some new yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, for as good as that course is, in the resort in general. I think it's just lazy. 3, I'd probably go Lido, which would be if you're going 1A, 1B, it'd be 2 or 3. I like it. Um I don't really know much about it in terms of a logo and what it means, but I think it's a good logo for that course as well. I would go Commons, then Sandbox. So that might have been what you said as well.
Mhm.
4, 5. Sandbox, it's hard to make a good logo for a par three course, probably. So I'd probably put Commons at 4, Sandbox 5. So what I guess we'll go Mammoth 1, Sedge 2, Lido 3, Commons, Sandbox, and then Sand Valley for mine. And I think I don't think Ben ever said his, so maybe we can get maybe when we do our redone captain's interview, which will I'm not going to give all the details for that, but we are going to redo that episode, and so I'm not going to give away everything, but maybe we'll bring that back up for him on that. So
Or we could say, hey Ben, hey every listeners, put your favorites in the comments. Right.
oh well, look at that! Look at Tyler. Okay,
Then
nice,
like
nice,
and subscribe.
nicely done. Yeah, and now we're going to break for our advertisers from our sponsors.
Yeah.
I don't have Chevy, so we can't do Chevy.
Air,
Um,
I got AirPods right here. Not using them.
yeah, yeah. All right. So, something else I wanted to talk about a little bit was, we did, or mostly I was pushing, trying to switch up the format this year. I thought it was a good year to maybe do something different. We've had 5 years now. We're going into the sixth year. We've had, y'all have won 3 in a row. I just thought it might be a nice time at a home Ryder Cup, Hackers Cup, basically for everybody to do something different. And I was trying to push, class of 2007 versus everybody else. Ultimately, it didn't go through, and I still think we could do it in the future. I just want to get your thoughts on it. If you think it's viable, what you think the issues were with it for this year versus maybe not doing it in the future. But
Yeah, I'm pretty Switzerland on this. I don't really care. But I think the detractors of it were, keep the teams, keep the rivalry going, all that. I think an argument for it would be like you maybe team up with guys that you wouldn't team up with in a regular Hackers Cup. So like, Boda and I always gel off each other pretty nicely, and that would have been fun to be in a match with him. So like I was happy and am happy either way. I think it would have been a fun little twist. And I think, there could have been uh maybe well, how do I say this? Like we may have awoken we could have awoken some old flames on different rivalries. But harken back to the H&E softball days. You remember
okay, okay,
we
yeah,
had that big
yeah,
it was on the last day of school. We had that slow pitch softball game.
yeah.
I think we had there's a lot of people there. So every June 7th, I'm reminded of that, which is hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I think we could entertain it in the future. I think, like you said, just being back on home turf, this would have been a good time to do it and shake it up a little bit. And I think too, like, from your guys' side, maybe a shakeup of the teams might have created a little more parity just with us taking the last 3 cups. But
Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't meant to be a permanent thing. I think it was more
yeah,
in
no,
my mind,
I
like,
wasn't
yeah,
suggesting that either.
yeah. And I think in my mind, it was more like y'all have won 3 in a row. Like, if we were to win this year
Mhm.
or whatever next year, and then it's like, well, now we don't want to switch up teams, but we just won. Now we want to defend. And then we get into this thing of like, when is a good time to do it? Because you know, but after winning 3 in a row, it's like, all right, well, we could pause this and we've defended twice already. You know what I mean? Like versus like, well,
Yeah.
now if it if and hopefully we win this year or in the near future, we're not going to want to switch teams then. So it's like, when is a good time to do that? But I don't know. It's something I thought, and I think we can kind of keep on the table moving forward. Just was curious on your thoughts on it.
Which brings I mean that's an interesting topic, like even aside if it wasn't '07 against the world. And I know we had some trade talks and maybe some rumors. Was that after last year? I can't remember. But would we open the door for maybe switching
We're
teams?
gonna have to ask Sirik about those trade talks because he didn't openly
Yeah,
really own those, but I have documented evidence
well,
that,
leave
you
that
know,
between you guys, and uh, I'm gonna stay out of it because I this is just a weekend to golf with my buddies. I mean, I
uh,
love the cup.
uh,
I love the competition.
Yeah, we might just leave that one alone because that one will probably get me in trouble more than anything.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, it's an interesting proposal. Like, do we shake it up a little bit, and then that could also create some bad blood too if you get voted off the island and you get shipped off to the other side.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but at least that way it was like you knew why. It wasn't like you were
yeah,
voted. It was like if you're 9 and 07, But honestly, I think 6 of our 8 are already 07. So I
yeah,
think there was an argument is like we're just gonna switch 2 people. So I get that too. But um and then, one other thing I really wanted to talk about, if you got time, is just our tap in triples captaincy switch. I decided to step back and let somebody else do it. I thought it was just a better fit for me to kind of move off that. So obviously, I think we all know Hanvelt earned that from our side of things, and he won it by vote. So it was a couple rounds.
hmm,
Really, I think it was only like 2 rounds of voting. Like we went through once, eliminated a bunch of them, and then went through again, and he won the vote. So I'm happy. I'm happy for Ben. I think he's been excited about it, and this is probably better talked about now since the captain's interview didn't go through. So it would be weird to talk about it, I think, if we had already aired it. But
yeah,
we can obviously, when we talk to the captains again, he'll be able to maybe talk directly to everybody that way. But just wanted to get your thoughts on it, if any. But I wanted to bring it up because of the failed interview we had. I thought we should at least mention it that he has been very excited. I think he's been ready to bring it, and I think a good little change up for our team to kind of just bring a little different, as he would say, vibe to the
yeah,
group, and hopefully a better outcome for us.
yeah. I think for you, this year could be a defining year for you. You've relinquished your captaincy duty and also your kind of lining all the things up duties. So you can kind of just play free spirited this year.
Are you saying I'm a dark horse this year? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, yeah, I mean, with nothing on your mind except where to hit your golf ball, like
Uh,
what else do you have to worry about? So I think I think it's the right move for you in terms of captaincy. Like, I think Ben's a good pick. I think we'll just have to see how he does.
yeah. Sounds like we might be coming up against the timer here,
I,
Ty.
I think I think that's it, Dan.
All right. Well, Tyler, I think is coming up against it. There are some things at home, so we're gonna cut this off. Next episode, we're gonna try to do here in the next couple days, hopefully, and we'll get into. We're gonna drop the course lineup, format stuff. We'll get into that, some other things, but the big thing for that episode, we're gonna start really getting into all Hackers Cup, and now we'll know courses, days, and what formats we're doing. So should be a good episode. We'll try to get this one out here shortly, maybe Friday, and then hopefully the other one sometime over the weekend or early next week. But glad to be back. I think we had the flow going a little bit better by the end of this thing from a Hackers Cup's perspective. So thanks for joining us on Off the Hosel podcast built on sand, and we'll see you back here shortly. So
See ya.
see you, buddy.